What's up, everybody? I've got Benson to my left. I've got Golden Boy to my right. The two very dynamic casters in this community. Now, I want to start this interview off. I want to get your guys' opinion on broadcaster mode. This is the first time using it in a grand scale such as MLG. How do you think it's working out?
It's doing pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot better than how a lot of people anticipate it to be, just by like double being on a team and having to cycle through that way. Definite room for improvement, of course. But I mean, if you go back to Black Ops 2, we had Codcaster, and immediately patch. They had like David Vonderhaar listening to everything we were saying. They kind of shaped it around the casters, which is always going to be important because realistically, there's going to be about maybe 50 people in the world that are actually going to use this tool at its fullest potential. So far, I'm pretty impressed.
Now over here to you, Alex. What are your opinions on Codcaster right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there are a lot of definite improvements that can be made. I've been doing a lot of work with the Battlefield guys, and their spectator mode. It's very interesting, right? Because and we're talking two different scales here. We're talking capturing 64 players versus capturing 8, right? But I felt like one thing that Call of Duty has always done so well is be able to have the broadcasting view give you everything, give you every information. That's something that Battlefield right now is kind of lacking in that regard, right? Where you do have the information, but you have to go to numerous tabs in order for you to get it. But in the Call of Duty side, I think that what they did this time around was actually something that I thought would have worked out really well back in Black Ops 2. Because I thought, don't get me wrong, I really liked the Codcaster bringing out R-Trigger. Thought it was great back in Black Ops 2, but there was a lot of dead space. There was a lot of black on that screen. Now this is eliminated, and now you have a lot more real estate to work with, if you will. I think what they need to get rid of the D-pad down at the bottom. I think that's not the most aesthetically pleasing thing, which is great because we actually talked with Ash here from Activision, gave him our feedback. I was like, hey, I think this works, that doesn't work. And he was like, yeah, we got it. We're gonna work on it. And I think that's most important. If you remember back in Black Ops 2, right? Like they didn't have the mini map on the Codcaster mode, right? And now, and then they put it into the game because of what MLG did. So there's just a lot of room for improvement, but it is a step in the right direction, and I'm glad to finally see it come to place.
Now, Alex did talk about some of the improvements he thought would help the new broadcaster mode. What are some of your opinions on the new improvements that could come into play?
All right, so one of the first things I think a lot of people are going to be complaining about, I haven't seen any of the chat or the Twitter or any of that stuff, but the kill feed. For me, not a big deal, but I know a lot of people, they like to see the kill feed. It kind of just gives them just a heads up of which team is slaying out the other one without having to look at numbers, etc. So what I would personally do is get rid of the tab at the bottom left, which is the free camera stuff, which is cool. It's an awesome tool to experiment with, but you have to nail the basics first. And for me, I would just put the kill feed right there, or maybe even just shift some stuff around. I like the way that the map is at the top left. I think that's kind of cool, the way it just sort of pops out. But they need to try and do some work with the actual transitions. That's something that you guys at home won't actually see, but the way that we have to transition to change player, etc., that's something, there's a lot of button pushes that you guys don't actually see, but we're having to do. And when you're trying to cast, I know it sounds really petty to a lot of people, but when you're trying to cast and you're trying to do the best job you possibly can, trying to hit buttons at the same time, sometimes you lose track, and then people are going to pick up on that. They're going to pick up on just mistakes people are going to start saying, and that stuff that as casters, we want to give the best possible show we can to you guys. So, if we can just remove all those little bugs, I guess you could call them, get them out of the way, we're going to have such a good viewing experience. Because that's something a lot of people said about this game. They were like, oh, it's terrible to watch. I don't think that's necessarily true. I watched a couple of games before, and I love watching this game. COD is COD at the end of the game. And, they're going to improve it. That's a fact. They've already told us, whatever we suggest, if they can do it, they're going to do it. Can't ask for much more.
Now, to close this interview out, I just want to it's obviously important for you guys to have fun doing your job here.
Not at all. Hate it.
Are you guys having fun so far this event?
I always have fun. I love meeting everyone. So for me, the experience, it's more than the game at this point. For me, Call of Duty is about the people here, the community. They're awesome. Just talking to everyone. I mean, I'm a very vocal wrestling fan on Twitter. So the kids come up to me and they talk to me. Don't you dare, I will slap you. But seriously, they come and talk to me about wrestling. We talk about
wrestling's fake.
Yeah, whatever. They talk about new consoles and all that, and it's great. I think the vibe and the atmosphere is amazing. As far as casting is concerned, I actually am having a good time because I'm discovering new things. On the Bravo stream, I casted with TP, and I learned so much just on that one cast with him. On how to play Sovereign and how to push here and what is the plan here. Actually, I think it's great. So in all honesty, I'm having a great time.
How about you, Benson? Are you having a good time?
Of course, it's MLG. You know, Anaheim was my first MLG event, and the people were so awesome. You know, since then I've grown a lot. You know, people just coming up to me asking for pictures, asking for, you know, just having a chat, and that's the best thing. You know, meeting everybody, and I'm just trying to, you know, sit and just speak to as many different people as possible. And the casting side of things, I think, you know, it's a new tool we've just been given. So I'm trying to think of this more logically, as opposed to trying to have fun with it. So I'm trying to just think, how can I give the best viewing experience to someone watching at home? I think, you know, by midday tomorrow, you'll probably see everyone just a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more chilled out. And as soon as we find that rhythm and really get our heads around what we need to try and show, that's when you're going to see some of the more fun style casting come out. But for right now, I think for the first day, everyone's just trying to get their head around it, just trying to make sure we don't, you know, screw up. That's what we're trying to make sure. And it's, as soon as you get rid of that mentality, that's when we're going to really be able to come into our element as casters.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for doing this. I'm looking forward to the improvements in the future for the broadcast mode, everything you guys brought up. This is great. This is Diesel with Icons at MLG Columbus.